so vital
like a little
that
panther,
the Emperor
like,
fail and the light
right in
of
the
the
center there.
Astronomicon
I see
be severed,
aliens, like
then
the
the
head of
Imperium
alien.
would quickly collapse.
You would see
into
aliens,
chaos and
heretic.
darkness.
Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of normies in love that love having our world turned upside down by the grim dark future of Warhammer 40k.
So somebody called us normies in one of the comments on one of our videos, and I loved it. And I told Ken, I was like, we have to adopt that. And I've definitely used it twice since then in conversation.
Yeah, so that's who we are. We're leaning into it. It's all good. And today is our Double Trouble Thursday. We got 2 reaction videos coming out today. This is the second one. Earlier we did a League of Legends video, and now we're doing some Warhammer. So this is some more lore stuff. This is, we heard the Template Institute was a good one to check out. And so that's what we're checking out. They did a Imperium of Man for the Warhammer 40k. So we're gonna learn, maybe about the Emperor, our great savior, the Emperor. You're here. Don't let him know. Don't let him know. We're teamwork.
I have no poker face.
I know. All right.
I just don't.
Let's get this started. Now that you totally ratted us out to the Inquisitors.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen eventually. At least it was for me.
Hey everyone, just a quick note to say that our Patreon is now live, and at the time of this video,
Okay.
we've already smashed through our first 5 pledge goals. We've got
Good for
a ton
you.
of new content coming, and more episodes every month, so if you'd like to vote on which spin-off gets made first to get some cool rewards for your trouble, be sure to check us out on Patreon. You'll find a link in the description.
I vote for Atlas. Okay.
In the grim darkness of the far future, the worlds of mankind stand on the precipice of destruction. Beset on all sides by predatory alien empires and threatened from within by heretics, mutants, traitors, and worse. Yet even in this dying galaxy, in a time when peace has been forgotten and every hope seems lost, there stands a great bulwark between humanity and that which would destroy it. It is a power of unimaginable scale, in command of inexhaustible armies that hold back the eldritch terrors that await beyond. It is a regime built on benevolence and cruelty, repression and stagnation, irrational superstition and bureaucratic corruption.
Joy.
A nation
Sounds
tempered
awesome.
in the fires of endless war. It is the 41st millennium, and rising from the light of ancient Terra stands boldly the great work of the Emperor, the Imperium of Man. It is commonly said that the Imperium presides over 1 million worlds, but the truth is far less simple. Every
Odin only
year
had
its
9
dominion
realms.
waxes and wanes as new systems are colonized or conquered, and lost worlds are brought back into the fold, while elsewhere across the galaxy, planets are isolated and lost, taken by Xenos or brought to ruin by rebellion. The Imperium carries on only through the weight of its own immensity, ever expanding and ever declining. To think of it then as a single realm of defined borders and united territories is a fallacy. Against the enormity of the universe, even the Imperium is spread thinly, and its worlds might be separated by hundreds or even thousands of light years.
Medusa.
Yeah.
Planets within the Imperium are separated as much by technology as distance. Even within a single system, one world might be home to advanced industries and enriched with great wealth brought about by interstellar trade, while another might exist in squalor, its medieval population worshipping imperial administrators as divine emissaries. This disparity is as much by design as by circumstance. There exists a great fear of technology that borders on superstition, and planetary governors might insist on restricting certain knowledge in order to keep their populations docile and subservient.
It's not bad. Like, every future ends
The
because of
disparate
technology.
and widespread nature of imperial
And
holdings
stupidity.
makes cataloging them completely unfeasible, although entire armies of administrative staff spend their lifetimes attempting to do so. Instead, the Imperium is divided into 5 administrative zones known as segmentum. The segmentums of the Imperium span the entire galaxy,
Valhalla,
with
yeah.
the only limits to the imperial domain imposed
Armageddon.
by the range of the Astronomicon, an immense
Fenris.
psychic beacon projected by the
Whoa.
Emperor of Mankind
They're
from
lovely.
within the Golden Throne. The beacon provides the means for the ancient families of the Navis Nobilite to plot a course through the otherwise incomprehensible dimension known as the Warp. This nightmarish realm is the primary method used by the Imperium for faster-than-light travel, and remains so vital that should the
Panther,
Emperor fail and the light of the
beside her.
Astronomicon be
see
severed,
aliens, like
then the
head
Imperium would quickly collapse
You would
into
see
chaos
aliens,
and
heretic.
darkness. The
I'm a
Emperor
heretic.
of Mankind
Go with
remains
it.
the formal sovereign of the Imperium, although in the millennia since his body was shattered and entombed within the Golden Throne, the rule of mankind has fallen instead to the Council of the High Lords of Terra. Entrusted to interpret and enact the will of the Emperor, the High Lords carry out the day-to-day decisions necessary to govern the Imperium. Judgments of the High Council affect the lives of endless trillions, but the nature of the Imperium prohibits any centralized governance from being universally enforced. Instead, the Imperium makes use of countless organizations to keep the wheels of bureaucracy and war moving. Perhaps the largest of these is the Adeptus Administratum, teeming with countless scribes and petty officials. It administers the Imperium at every level, collecting tithes and taxes, performing censuses, and determining which threats to the Imperium must be dealt with, and by which of the Imperium's myriad of military forces, alongside 1,000 other chores and duties. The Administratum is a maze of subdivisions, departments, and offices, some conducting programs that are no longer needed, while others may have been abandoned entirely,
Oh, he looks
its
happy.
clerks
Yeah,
doomed
that
to
looks like a
perform
shitty
a
job,
menial
not
task
gonna
that's
lie.
purpose has been forgotten. On Mars dwells the headquarters of the
Worst
Adeptus
court reporter
Mechanicus,
job
an
ever.
ancient priesthood of technicians and engineers responsible for the construction and maintenance of all Imperial technology and equipment. Granted a level of independence unequaled within the Imperium, the Mechanicum is viewed with suspicion by the rest of the Imperial administration. Their forge worlds operate without oversight, and their religion is viewed as almost heretical. Above all, the priesthood of Mars covet knowledge, and they guard their discoveries with jealousy. Binding the Imperium together through faith is the Adeptus Ministerum, the ecclesiastical hierarchy of the imperial cult, which spreads the universal worship of the God Emperor of mankind. Known commonly as the ecclesiarchy, the organization wields considerable power,
Yeah,
for
they
it
seem like
derives its
the
authority
assholes.
from the common belief in the
Yep.
Emperor's divinity. Even by imperial standards, it is a complex and baffling hierarchy of priests, confessors, cardinals, and dozens of other ranks and titles.
I was gonna say
All
cardinals.
across the Imperium, its agents guide the soul of mankind, purging heresy and inspiring true devotion.
Ugh.
Of all the Imperial organizations, however, the sanctioned psychers of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, the guardians of Imperial law in the Adeptus Arbites, the royal guardsmen of the Adeptus Custodes, or even the vaunted killers of the Officio Assassinorum, no single
Officio
institution
Assassinorum. Oh, she
holds
looks
greater power
badass!
or instills more fear across the galaxy
She looks
than
awesome.
the Imperial Inquisition.
Oh,
Inquisitors are
Inquisition.
charged with protecting
Of
the
course.
Imperium against the malevolent influences of the galaxy, whether they be the allure of alien philosophies or the machinations of the ruinous powers. Its members may pass through doors that would be closed to all others, and there are very few in the Imperium who can refuse to execute their orders without complaint or delay. The Inquisition operates outside of the control of even the High Lords of Terra, and answer only to the Emperor and themselves.
The Emperor's not alive!
While such organizations have
Is he?
wide-reaching authority,
Sort of.
their direct involvement in the governance of individual planets and star systems is relatively uncommon. For as long as the imperial tithe is paid and obligations and responsibilities are met, the Imperium is content to allow various imperial commanders and planetary governors to rule their worlds, systems, or even sectors however they see fit. In this way, the Imperium resembles some manner of feudal confederacy, with a hierarchy of lords and vassals stretching from the lowliest page to the Emperor himself. Such a system, while effective at maintaining order and enforcing imperial authority, means that very few worlds are governed in the same manner, and mobilizing these discordant vassals and feudal lords is often taxing and slow. In a galaxy of carnage, it is
Cool.
by the will and strength
Picture
of
right there.
humanity's armies, rather than its bureaucrats, that has allowed the Imperium to endure for so long, while other powers have withered and failed. Mankind has always excelled in warfare, and the Imperium commands a vast array of powerful forces, rivaled by nothing else in the universe. The backbone of Imperial strength is the Astra Militara, also known as the Imperial Guard. consisting of countless millions of trained men and women, often armed with nothing more than a lasgun, a bayonet, and their faith in the Emperor, Imperial Guardsmen can be found in nearly every garrison and battlefield. They are the first line of defense and the focal point of any crusade. While the Imperial Guard musters countless armies, certain worlds have won great acclaim across the Imperium for the quality of their soldiers and the heroics of their regiments, their deeds and commanders entering the Imperial pantheon of legends. It is the superhuman Adeptus Astartes who have come to symbolize the might of the Imperium, however. Elite warriors gifted with immense strength, size, resilience, and intellect. These Space Marines have inherited the traditions of the Emperor himself, and are one of the few forces available to the Imperium that can rapidly respond to a developing threat. The Astartes are divided between roughly 1,000 chapters, each with their own storied history and proud traditions.
Demonic cherub.
Though few in number, a squad of Space Marines can turn the tide of battle, while an entire chapter can shift the balance of a war. In space, the Imperium calls upon the great war fleets of the Imperial Navy. The starships it operates are legion, ranging from single-man fighters and bombers to ancient battleships capable of terrible displays of destructive power. In addition to its armadas, the Navy also operates colossal space stations, great ports, and distant anchorages, always at the ready to deliver the forces of humanity to the next grand battle zone. The enemies of the Imperium are simply too many and too varied for any single organization to effectively combat, and there exist a great many specialized orders and detachments used in only the most specific or dire circumstances. The Grey Knights, the Death Watch, the Orders Militant of the Adeptus Sororitas, the Scutari Legions, and Collegia Titanica of Mars. The forces of the Imperium are as innumerable as their foes, and it is only through their ceaseless vigilance that the Imperium is sustained. In spite of its unlimited military potential, during extreme circumstances when the price of retaking a world is simply too high, or the risk of spreading mutation, disease, or heresy too great, the highest authorities in the Imperium can order exterminatus. Through orbital bombardment, virus bombs, cyclonic torpedoes, or other instruments of extermination, a planet's biosphere is completely destroyed, along with all life on it. This terrible order is rarely given, and only as a last resort. If the Imperium has ever known an age of peace, then it is an era long forgotten. It was in war that the Imperium was founded, and through war it has endured. In the 30th millennium, from the terrors of the Age of Strife, when anarchy, war, and destructive technological regression brought man to the edge of extinction, there arose the Emperor. He served as a guiding hand that brought man back from the brink, and ushered in a new golden age for all of humanity.
Was it a golden age?
Using his legions of Thunder Warriors, the ancient precursors of the Space Marines, global order was restored across Terra, and once again the planet became a hub of unceasing activity, production, and planning. Aligning himself with the tech priests of Mars, the Emperor and his legions set off across the galaxy in search of the Primarchs, 20 beings of extraordinary power crafted from the Emperor's own genetic material. Seized and hidden by the dark gods of chaos, over time each Primarch was found, and they joined the Emperor's great crusade as his most capable commanders, diplomats, and warriors. Thousands upon thousands of human worlds were liberated and united under the Imperium. But in this moment of triumph, as the Emperor worked in secret to bring about his greatest gift to mankind, the galaxy descended once more into chaos and war.
Of course it did.
War Master Horus, the favored son of the Emperor and greatest of his generals, was manipulated by the dark gods of chaos, and together with 9 of his brothers, split the Imperium in 2. When the Horus heresy finally came to an end after 9 years of civil war, the traitor legions had been beaten and Horus slain. But the effort had laid waste to much of the Imperium, and the Emperor, mortally wounded in his last great confrontation with Horus, was sealed inside the Golden Throne, now physically broken with only his immense psychic will remaining. And the millennia since, The dream of the Emperor has wilted and died.
Yeah, but that seems like
The promise
a
of
line.
knowledge
Like
and
his psychic will still
understanding
goes
has been
on.
replaced
people
by
are like,
ignorance
oh, he speaks
and
to me
fear.
through his psychic
Endless
will.
war
course.
is
So
now
the
the
priest
purpose
can
of the
say,
Imperium,
I know what
and
he
each
wants.
century brings grave new threats and short-lived triumphs. Orc warbands spread unchecked across the
Team
stars.
Orc!
Tyranid hive fleets circle the galaxy like predatory sharks, all while ancient and young races alike work to usurp the Imperium's position of superiority. Even the light of the Astronomicon has begun to flicker and fade. In the aftermath of Abaddon the Despoiler's 13th Black Crusade and the fall of the Cadian Gate, unprecedented warp storms now
That's
stretch
cool, Peg.
across the galaxy, and the Imperium is once more split in two. Traitor legions and alien
That's a great one, too!
besiege countless worlds.
I want that big demon
Entire
dude.
sectors have disappeared into the abyss, and few dare speculate what nameless horrors run rampant in the weakened and isolated corners of the galaxy. Worse still is the knowledge secretly reported to the High Lords of Terra that the mechanisms of the Golden Throne have begun to fail, and the knowledge necessary to repair them has been lost.
Oh, dragons.
Before being executed for their heresy, prophets across the galaxy say now is the time of ending, when the Imperium will finally collapse into a trembling collection of shattered realms before being swallowed up
Holy
by the
crap.
approaching darkness.
Damn.
Yet rumors abound that legends thought lost to time have been reborn. There are whispers that hidden vaults on Mars have been unlocked, and powerful new soldiers and armaments are now fighting across the galaxy. If now is truly the time of ending, then the Imperium is not content to stand idly by. Across the worlds of the Imperium, new crusades have been proclaimed, great armies raised, and mighty battle fleets armed and sent forth against the enemy. For in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Super happy fun times.
The Templin Institute
Yeah, that's
investigates
what we're doing.
alternate worlds and realities. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to directly support us, vote and poll to determine future topics, and receive some cool rewards, please consider pledging to our Patreon page.
Consider pledging their Patreon page. So I like how the fact that in this 40K, 41st millennium type world, there's, all these different worlds in the Imperium, and they still know shit about Mars. Like, towards the end there, they're seriously, they're like, there's thoughts that maybe on Mars, there might be an answer there. And it's like, okay, so we explored the entire galaxy, but we don't know anything about Mars at all. We're still sending rovers there. Like to land on Mars to figure out what's going on there. Like I don't know. That was my takeaway from this whole thing.
That's your takeaway. Okay. Good. We still don't know shit about Mars.
Yeah,
Nice to know.
pretty much.
I'm sorry, you made my eyes water. I was laughing so hard. I think for me, I don't know. I like humans. Okay? I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say by saying this, because I do genuinely like humans. I think our resiliency is amazing, our ability to be empathetic is amazing, but like in this, we are dicks. I'm sorry, but we suck. The bureaucracy, the fanatical religion, the overlord of priests, like,
I'm sorry, beautiful, but that sounded like a lame-ass serial killer's excuse, as they get up to testify in court. I like humans. All right? Why would I kill them? Why would I murder them and eat them? I like humans. I had to explain that you like humans, and that you just don't like these humans, like future humans. But
no,
you're
this world seems terrible, and I don't think
Yes!
it's all the humans, but obviously
I think it's 99.95% of them.
well, he's the pessimist in our relationship, as you can tell. But whatever has led humans to choose this way of leadership and buy into this system, this system is freaking worst. If you're on the side that's yay, Inquisition, and yay, Crusade, you really should review some history, because you ain't on the right side.
Yeah, but there is no right side. There's
no. And that's also what I was thinking about with this. So, and I've thought about it before when we watched some 40K, but I'm gonna kind of pose the question this time. Is hope a good thing or a bad thing? Because the sunny optimist in me that I am has always thought that hope is a gift. Hope can provide strength. We need hope. But I'm telling you, man, if I was in the world of 40K, I don't want hope. I want to like jump off a spaceship because this world is terrible.
The one thing I did find interesting was the golden age that happened with Emperor of Man, and how everyone was getting along, and then Horus became a dick and started to I don't know who you are, Horus, but you kind of messed things up. All right, so I blame you for everything, and yeah, you suck, and I'm glad you're dead. That's
on that cheerful note.
That's my 2 cents.
There has to be hope in this world.
There's no hope in this world.
I don't believe it.
There is zero hope in this world, and we will watch Warhammer 40K until the hope is beaten out of you.
Challenge accepted. Here's the thing. I don't believe that there's no hope in this world, as terrible as it is. And the reason that I say that is because if there was truly no hope, why live? There are tons of people and aliens and everything else in this world, and they have to have a reason to live. And if it is as awful as we perceive it to be while we're watching some of these really depressing videos, which are fun to watch, don't get me wrong, but like the world is depressing, then why are these people alive? Like if I was one of those half-naked people chained up, hauling stuff like under a bunch of skulls, I'd be like, no thanks, checking out. Like I'm done. This has been fun. Like there has to be a reason that these people are alive. There has to be a reason that they actually fought a civil war. There has to be a reason that the Astartes fight. The reason I'm saying this is because like, if I was in a terrible, hopeless world of like horrible oppression from like religious overlords and bureaucracy and everything else terrible, which they describe in this, and then somebody puts a gun in my hand and says, go defend this, I'd be like, you go defend this. Like, no. Like, I don't care if you kill me, because what am I living for?
They're not just going to kill you, they're going to torture you, and they're going to, do like terrible things. I mean, this is the future. I'm sure they've thought of some really crazy like torture devices and whatnot that goes in there. Your world is bad because of, the orcs. Your world is bad because of the Tyranids or whatever, like the little bug creatures. Your world is bad because of the Eldar. Your world is bad because of this. Like, so all we need to do is we need to eradicate all these people that are trying to like destroy our world and destroy our way of life. And if we destroy them, then things would get better, and things would, and that's the hope. There's a better future on the horizon if we can just kill these people.
But is there? Like
exactly, and that's why there's only the grim dark future of Warhammer 40K.
Like the world that they're describing for humans in the Imperium, you have like oppressive cardinals and priests who are interpreting the whim of the emperor and like and all this. I'm sorry, but
well, yeah, there's corruption.
Propaganda bullshit.
There's propaganda. There's corruption. I mean, like
so why would I care about defending that?
Because you think of the good. It's the same thing like the nostalgic reasons of why people to think like of the good old days.
But there's no nostalgia in this world.
Yeah, but there is. Like with before Horus became a dick and started ruining everything, the Emperor had like that golden age. When things were good, everyone was happy, the world was thriving, and then there was the Civil War, and then they got attacked by different again, like we don't know enough about it. I think
we're trying to learn. So I'm going to challenge our community. If there is anything good in this world, any hope, any reason why these people are even defending the Imperium, fighting to stay alive in this world, besides like animalistic survival instinct, I would love to know. Like, I would love to just balance some of like the dark, depressing stuff with maybe a little bit of good.
Oh, you're so cute.
Yeah.
I know you just can't beat the hope out of my wife. That's one of the reasons I love her. She refuses. She's a fighter, and she will fight for hope and love, and we will continue to fight. I've given up.
Yes.
I'm a realist. I realize.
Realist.
So I realized there's no hope. I'm okay with that, and I just I go with the flow. Anyways, thanks so much for checking out our second half of our Double Trouble Thursday for some Warhammer 40K. You've seen our reaction to the Imperium of Man by the Templin Institute. Just keep in mind
Our reaction is definitely not definitive.